For the latest on the situation in Mozambique, I'm joined by Zenaida Machado, who is a senior researcher at Human Rights Watch. Zenaida, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. How would you describe the situation in Mozambique at this moment?
Good afternoon. I think the situation at this moment is tense. Violent protests are taking place across the country. Most of the incidents have taken place here in the capital Maputo and the neighbor city of Matola. Police continues to use excessive force to disperse both peaceful and non-peaceful protests. Today we had the medical doctors also joining the demonstrations. They were able to march across the main avenues for several hours without any incident reports. But in the neighborhoods of Maputo, outside the center of Maputo, we continue to get reports of people being injured, killed, and arbitrary arrests, and in some cases also getting worrying reports of people being kidnapped by plainclothes officers.
And how are the protesters reacting to the situation which you described, which suggests to me that because if police then go for people who are protesting peacefully, then that suggests a provocation.
In several occasions, the violent response of the security forces has somehow exacerbated the situation. We have seen cases where people started their march peacefully, being escorted by a certain branch of the police, and in halfway in their process, the march being interrupted by another branch of the police, who then, without warning, for example, decided to fire tear gas against the crowd, and that, for example, has caused them to start running for their lives, hiding anywhere, and some of the protests stayed behind to throw stones at police officers. We have also had cases where the excessive presence of police on the neighborhoods has led residents in anger, for example, to set tires on fire, to block roads. Last night, for example, there was an incident here in Maputo City where residents cut a road to stop the armory vehicles from coming into their neighborhood. But we also have cases of people who are now joining the protests because they feel upset that the presence of security forces in their neighborhood has led to confrontations between security forces and protesters. And in some cases, the security forces fire tear gas into residences. And we have many incidents where children were forced to inhale tear gas when they were in the comfort of their own houses. But we have also reported cases where children had to run away from the way police was dispersing the anti-government protesters. And those are children that, for example, left home yesterday to go to school. And on their way back, they met the protests on the streets. So as I'm speaking to you at the moment, we have at least 2 cases where parents are still looking for their children who got lost as they try to run away from the violence.
A quick one, Zenaida. What has been the attitude of the government in all of this?
Today, in the past weeks, has been a bit dismissive and confrontational, accusing the protesters of causing disturbances. In some cases, we have seen people linked to the government accusing the protesters of being a group of sore losers who were not able to accept the results of the elections. But the tone seems to be turning down as we approach Thursday, which is the day that the leader of the protest.
The big protest is being, yes.
Yes, is going to be leading a huge march. So, for example, today we had the head of states, for example, reacting and calling people to dialogue peaceful and united, for example. And this afternoon, there was a press conference of the Minister of Defense laying out what is his plan to control the crowd on Thursday.
Well, we shall see. We'll be monitoring events. Thank you very much for your time, Zenaida Machado, who's, of course, a senior researcher at Human Rights Watch.